Yes, YouTube, what are we saying? So, we have got a case study today. If you actually watched the last week's video of Callum Hine, I did say I'll be doing Ella's case study next, and obviously this is the one. So, obviously, when it comes down to Ella working with me, she dropped about 7 kilograms in 9 weeks, and she was already quite lean before. So, I got her pretty shredded for our photo shoot. So, I'm going to go into it now, and I'm going to show you Ella's case study. Work with me. I want the video to load here. That's a full screen to this. Here we go. So we can see here, obviously the camera can't see that much, but she's got an ab vein that comes all across here. We've got abdominal muscles, obliques, cap delts, bicep vein. You see her back as well. Back is very lean, very dry. Yeah, we dropped 7 kilograms in 9 weeks and got a pretty fucking peeled for a photo shoot. That's her at 60 kilograms, 5'8", by the way, so she's on the taller side of a female, and that's her there at 53 kilograms. So setting up the plan, right? She came to me. She actually wanted. Her goal is to build muscle, but also be lean. Unfortunately, that's not how it fucking works. Like you can definitely cut down and go onto a lean bulk, but there has to be some form of accruing body fat in that surplus. So obviously, the goal was originally to lose. I think it was like 3-4 kilograms because you can see here she's already quite lean already, especially for a female. So that was the goal originally. So I set her up on 1,800 calories training days, 1,600 calorie rest days, 20-minute Stairmaster training days. She was also in part of the 8-week challenge as well. So Stairmaster was in, just so obviously it helps with losing the weight quick, as you would say, for the challenge. Stairmaster, in terms of calories burnt per minute, tends to be higher than any other exercise or any other cardio machine. 5-day split, which was, it had a glute and hamstring day, a quad day, a push day, a pull day, and a posterior day. But also, because her back is already quite strong, the back was just at the end. It was mainly just glutes and hamstrings. 4 meals per day. So she was having around that, but we split it in 4 meals, which we put her up around 140 grams of protein, just an average 10,000 steps daily, and then 5 liters of water daily as well. She drinks a lot of water, right? So the actual was about 4 advice to do, but she already drinks about 5 liters anyway. So I'm like, cool. If that's what you can handle, great. Want to stick to 5 liters. So 7 weeks into the plan before we enter peak week. So this is about 7 weeks in. We can see here she's got lean already. She was about 54 in this, roughly about 54. But you can see here she's starting to get an ab vein coming through, lost a lot of body fat around the waist, back's looking a bit more dry, and we are definitely on target. So we had 1,200 calories both days. So I pulled her. So I didn't go from 1,800 to 1,200 calories. I slowly pulled her calories down. She did have a holiday in between as well. So as soon as she came back from holiday, I put her down to like 1,400. And I was like, right, we need to go now because obviously we decided to do the photo shoot about 3 weeks in. So yeah, we should have photo shoot 3 weeks in. And I didn't realize I didn't ask her she had a holiday, so I hold my hand up and that was my fault. So when she came back from holiday, luckily she only put on 1 kilogram. It was straight into 1,400 calories. It was like, right, we have now a time. We need to fucking put the work in. So I started her off on, I pulled her down to 1,400 calories. Then I'm pretty sure it was 35 minutes Stairmaster, and then I slowly titrated that down to 1,200 calories, 45 minutes Stairmaster, 6 times per week. Which, by the way, that's a lot of cardio with not a lot of food. So it was definitely tough. Ella has got a lot of grit, and I know she'll get it done. And she really enjoys cardio. Before she came to me, she was doing like gym and high rocks, but just a lack of planning, lack of structure. 40,000 steps daily. So she actually then invested into like a walking pad. So while she was doing work, she would then do her steps. Split stays exactly the same. Don't change anything around that. I quite like the split that she was doing. And then she was again having around 140 on the days that she was struggling in terms of like satiation or being full. We then obviously increased the protein by another 10 grams just so we can keep up full. This is where a lot of people go wrong. They don't eat enough protein. Protein keeps you full, especially in a deficit. I would actually highly recommend, if you are struggling, to increase your protein and also increase your veg intake. No off-plan meals. Like, as soon as we made the photo shoot, I was like, no, we're not having no off-plan meals. Apart from the holiday, she went a little off-plan, but didn't take the piss. And again, 5-6 litres of water daily. So then we get into peak week, right? She's putting the fucking work in. She had a week holiday, but came back and it was straight back into it. Right, you got to put the fucking work in now. We had a sense of urgency anyway, but now that sense of urgency is higher. So now when she obviously came back from the holiday, it was time to put the fucking work, and obviously we did, and obviously that's how it looks there. Peak week comes in, so just in a space of a week, she actually got still quite leaner. Look at the difference on that in 1 week. So we can see here her back actually dried out quite nicely. She even got the small insertion here on her back. Now got the ab thing coming through, and then obviously peak week starts. So from Monday to Thursday, so I had to split it up into Monday to Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So start off with Monday to Thursday, I pulled it down to 1,000 calories. Yes, 1,000 calories. Right, this is a photo shoot. I'm not just doing this to all of my clients. There isn't like a magic number where what females should have. This is a photo shoot, so it's completely different. Would I drop the calories this low for just a normal client? No fucking way. But this is how I'm going to peak her. So what I'd always do with this is basically just so your body is sensitive to like glycogen, basically, which is what your carbohydrate stores energy source. What we need to do is make your body sensitive to it. So we need to massively reduce your carbohydrate intake. She's having around 70 to 80 gram carbs a day, which is fuck all. But the purpose of this is to actually flatten her out. So then when I refeed her on the Friday, her body's going to be more sensitive to glycogen, which is going to be stored into the muscles, which is going to give her a nice full look. And this is how a lot of photo shoots are done. There's a different way behind this, but I decided to do this way instead. There's not like one size fits all as well. Everyone is different. Normally people with a lot more muscle need to have a bigger refeed. They might even need to have 2, 3, 4 days of refeeding to get that desired look on a photo shoot or stage or whatever it is. Cardio taken out. So again, just bear in mind she was doing 45-minute Stairmaster 6 times per week, and also 40,000 steps. So as you can imagine, her legs are very inflamed. So I just took cardio out to help reduce inflammation. That way, obviously, when she does the photo shoot, her legs aren't going to be looking inflamed, which can affect like visually how pumped and how lean she's going to look. Steps got reduced. I said, look, just try to get a lot of steps, as minimal steps as you can. 3 reps in reserve for all exercises. So that way, the whole purpose of that is just like a pump workout, right? She wants to, or she should, feel better after a session than she did going in. This is just so we can stimulate the muscle slightly as we go into the week. So we don't just cut out training completely. And then no gym from Thursday onwards. And also meant to mention as well, the reason why we do the reps in reserve is also to help wash out any subcutaneous water in between muscle and the skin. And then that way, as well, the cut out gym can be for a week, there's no need, but it's also going to help wash out any excess water, which you want to talk about. And then no gym from Thursday onwards. Again, I want her to take this as like a deload, basically. So then when she trains on the Sunday with me, like a pump workout, we are going to be more susceptible to the pump, as you would say, or we're going to be more susceptible to like muscle contraction, looking lean and full, and reducing the stress as well. That way, obviously, when she does train on the Sunday, she's going to have a nice pump to look. 6 to 7 litres of water daily, so I actually increased it. And the reason why we do this is we want to flush out any excess water, right? We actually increase it, so we want to flush out any excess water in you, because the goal is to get it like nice, lean and dry. Probably the way to put it, like she is here. So the goal is to ramp food down, increase water, flush out any excess water, because when your body drinks lots of water, it now goes right. We've got lots of water now. We don't need this excessive water in between our subcutaneous layer from the muscle. So it's going to flush it out. So we're going to flush out any excess water from the increase of it and the lack of food, and also with salt as well, because again, she's not having a lot of potassium. She's not eating a lot of carbs. We want to keep that salt around 2 grams per day And also as well, just remember salt or sodium helps maintain body fluids. So if you increase the salt too high, it can help retain water leading up to the shoot. We do not want that. We want to flush out any water. And then 140 grams of protein per day. Again, some people can output for the peak week, which is fine, but we kept it around that. That should be all good. So she came in, and this is going to happen, right? If you're just right, you should check in with your coach or whoever it is, or yourself, and you should look flat. You should look very flat, and you can see here she looks quite watery as well. So not an issue. Not an issue, right? This can happen. So obviously, when it came into the peak weight, she came in very flat, and she came in about 93 to the dot. So it's okay, cool. What I did, she was having around 70 to 80 gram carbs, so I chucked in another 200 gram carbs on top. Do not overshoot the carbohydrate. Like, your best bet is to, excuse me, your best bet, right, is to give yourself 2 days. Don't fucking peak. I say on the Saturday for the Sunday. Do it on the Friday, like we've done here. That way, if you overspill the carbohydrate intake, and she comes in, or she checks in on the Saturday, and she's watery, and you've overdone it, and the body's holding some more fluids. What you can always do is you can fix it leading up to Sunday. So obviously with her, I was mindful with the refeed. Like, I'd always recommend, like, to be honest, about, let's say you're having that 80 gram carbs, around times 2 to 2.5 on top of what you're already having. So obviously 80 gram carbs, I put 200 grams in there. Obviously, let's say I times 80 by 2.5, that's about 200. So I added 200 grams on top of that. 8 litres of water daily. So you're thinking, fuck, that's a lot of water. Like, that's the whole point. Like, I told her you want to be pissing every 40 minutes. And again, just to flush out any excess water leading up to the shoot. Again, I increased her salt intake, so around 3 grams. I potentially could have even put it higher because of her increase of potassium from the carbohydrates she was having. But the whole purpose of this is you want to increase it because obviously that water is increasing as well. Also, that way you don't run into any dehydrations leading up to the shoot. Yes, I dehydrated her the next day, but obviously in this day, because obviously the potassium increases, you want to keep that potassium to sodium ratio around 1:1, which is what we do. And then we want to space out the meals across the day just for digestion purposes. So then she checked in with me on the Saturday, and as we can see here, she looks very fucking good, right? And I was happy at this. We can see here that there's an abdominal vein that goes all across her body, back looking full. She's looking more dry. So it's like we flush out any excess water. And I looked at this and I was like, great, right? We don't need to change anything. What we need to do is just maintain it. So, like, obviously her maintenance was, I'd say, about 1,400, because obviously what you could imagine, the week before peak week, she was having about 1,200 calories. So the whole purpose of this is I want her coming in a bit drier. So we need to maintain her look, which is about 1,400 calories, and dehydrate her into the next day, just so she comes in and she's just that bit more dry, which is the desired look we are aiming for. So what is 1,400 calories, 150 gram carbs, 4 litres of water, and actually cuts out all water from 4 p.m., right? And I told her she's not allowed to have any water until she checks in with me on the Sunday. So this way we come in, she's nice and dehydrated for a shoot. Now, I would be very careful of this, especially this was a hot day as well in the UK, so we had to be very mindful of how much water we're having. Like, if you fuck this up, you could run into potential dehydration issues. You feel dizzy, you feel sick, you feel nauseous. You do not want that, right? So you've got to be very mindful of this. And I actually pulled her salt down, just so we can maintain that dry look. As obviously, if I increase her salt with not a lot of food, it's going to hold on to any body fluids that we don't want. So I actually pulled her salt down. And then an early night sleep. Right, I want her to have like 10, 11, 12 hours, really reduce the amount of stress and cortisol, and make sure she feels fresh the next day. Peak week. So she came in, she actually didn't look as pumped as I would like her to be. Not an issue, right? So still very dry. You see here the back muscles here. So still very dry, but not as full and pumped as I would like it to be, which is not an issue, right? So we can just load up with more carbohydrates, which is what I did. So I loaded up with more with a meal, a big meal of sweet potato and mince around 10 a.m., then 3 rice cakes and jam at 12 a.m. And I actually increased the salt with her rice cakes about an hour before the shoot. Right, a lot of people tend to actually lower it. I wanted the salt to come in just so it helps with muscle contraction and a pump when she was working out with me, which is kind of obviously what she needs. She needs to look more pumped. So I actually increased the salt to help with that pump on the Sunday. And then obviously I told her she's not allowed to have any water until 11 to 1. And I told her to have about 1 litre. Then she also had about 200, 300 milliliters when she was there, which had also had a non-stim pump pre-workout in. Then we got a pump workout, which is about 20, 30 minutes. Right, we just got pumped for a shoot. And then as we was going through the workout, she was like, oh my God, I'm so vascular. She had the bicep veins and all sorts, like the ab veins. And I was like, yes, it's fucking worked. Happy days, right? So that's why I actually increased the salt. I'm very glad I did, because it helped muscle contraction, it helped with the pump when I was in the pump workout, and then she had that pumped and full look. And I've shot the final pictures here. These are just some of them, but as we can see here, she looks very fucking good. I've got loads more pictures as well. We've got one of her doing a side chest. She's got a whole bicep vein. But we can see here on the day, like legs. You see here the legs as well. You see how you see the definition in the hamstrings. This is why I actually took all cardio out, stopped the gym on the Wednesday, just so we can reduce inflammation in legs, so we can see all the definition in the hamstrings here. Back's looking very dry. This is a great picture. You see the obliques here. Cap delts, bicep veins. And yeah, she looks fucking incredible. So yeah, that's how I did my client Ella for a photo shoot. Let me know if you've got any questions. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And I shall see you lot in a bit.